In the previous sessions, we were looking at the narration in Al-Kafi, Nahnu Wallahi al-Asma'ul Husna. We are, I swear by Allah, the most beautiful names of Allah. The most beautiful names of Allah, which Allah introduces in the Quran as Allah and Rahman and Rahim. This narration is claiming that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, we are the most beautiful names. Yani we are Allah and Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. We already showed how this contradicts the clear teaching of the Quran, because in the Quran, Allah uses the term Asma'ul Husna always to refer to His own most beautiful names, such as Allah and Rahman and Rahim, and they only befit Him and His Majesty. From a Rijali point of view, we already showed you how the scholars of Rijal and Hadith who have studied the chain of this narration have admitted that it is unreliable. Everyone from Al-Allama Muhammad Baqir al-Bahbudi to Al-Allama Muhammad Baqir al-Majlisi, and even Shaykh al-Kulaini himself, he places the narration in his Babun Nawadir, his recycle bin, as we said. But sometimes when we highlight the Rijali weakness, its defenders may sometimes try to argue that no, Rijal is just one indicator. Our scholars, they can still rely on da'if narration, and they don't always throw out and dismiss and discredit da'if narrations. Well, we have shown you in the past how Ayatollah Baqir al-Sadr, Sayyid Ali al-Husayni Sistani, they have dismissed and rejected sahih narration, authentic narrations in Shia sources like Al-Kafi, just for their contradicting the worldview of the Quran, the overall teaching of Islam. And interestingly, it's not just the strict critical scholars of Rijal who are found in the Hawza of Najaf. Interestingly, when it comes to things like attribution of shirk or seemingly absurd and nonsensical statements to the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, you will find even the scholars of Qum, they pull up their socks. Even they tend to get very strict and dismissive about weak and reliable narrations. Although, unfortunately, they are not very consistent in this. It's only when the Shia sect is at the risk of being exposed, being humiliated or embarrassed, that is when they come to the defense and say, oh, no, we don't accept weak chains. And one such instance can be seen in the comments of Ayatollah al-Qazvini, professor in the Department of Advanced Studies and head of Department of Hadith, when he comments on a weak chain narration which a Salafi and Wahhabi scholar had tried to use to argue that the Shia Hadith heritage is tainted by narrations which promote shirk. So when it came to the defense of the Shia heritage, this Ayatollah wrote this book. And by the way, this book is published by Waliul Asr Institute, which is where Ayatollah al-Qazvini, that Ayatollah who had issued an open invitation to reformists. He had said that any reformists who want to come and debate, we will cover their costs. And that same institute is the institute that has published this book. These are anti-reformist scholars. So in his response, look at what he writes. He says, إِنَّ الْمُتَأَمِّلَ فِي أَدْعِيَةِ الشِّيعَةِ وَمُنَاجَاتِهِمْ. He says, anyone who carefully examines Shi'i supplications will find nothing but humility, reverence, and lowering of oneself before Allah. Readers can reflect on Dua Kumail. Notice the choice of du'as. Readers can reflect on Dua Kumail, Dua Abi Hamza Thumali, Dua Jawshan al-Kabir, and the supplications of As-Sahifa Sajjadiyah, all well-known and widely recognized prayers among Imami Shia. To see how these supplications deepen the spirit of Tawheed within individuals and encourage humility and devotion to the Rabbul Alameen. Notice how when he's trying to defend the Shia heritage, look at what are the du'as that he mobilizes to counter the claim of the Wahhabi that Shia heritage teaches shirk. Look at the du'as. He says readers can reflect on Dua Kumail, Dua Abi Hamza Sumali, Dua Jawshan al-Kabir, supplications of Sahifa Sajjadiyah. Notice how he doesn't mention Dua al-Nudba, he doesn't mention Dua Tawassul, he doesn't mention Ziyaratul Jami'. So this shows you these ulama also deep down in their heart of hearts, they understand, they realize, and they know that these du'as have shirk in them. These du'as are contaminated and polluted by the dirt of ghulu. They cannot point to ziyarat jami'ah and the atrocious iftiraz against Allah in this ziyarah and tell the ummah, come look, this is our tawheed. All of these things which unfortunately those who have been deceived in our community, if you ask them what is the peak of tawheed and what represents the correct Shia understanding of tawheed, those who have been deluded and deceived by the fabrications of the ghulat, they will tell you Ziyarat Jami'ah, they will tell you Dua Tawassul, this is the peak of Tawheed, Dua al-Faraj, Ilahi Azum al-Bala, and then you invoke the 12th Imam. They cannot with a straight face dare to look the ummah in the eye and say this is our Tawheed, because deep down they recognize, they can see, they understand, they're not blind, they know that this is ghulu, these are iftiraz against Allah. And that's why when they address the other sects, they put forward the Quran verified supplications. So when he tries to respond to the Shi'i narration that the Wahhabi has used to prove that Shia Hadith heritage promotes polytheism and ghulu. He says, "Inna riwayat allati istanada ilayha da'ifatun min al-jihati as-sanadiyya." He says the narration upon which this claim is based is weak, and therefore it cannot serve as hujjah, whether in legal rulings or other religious matters. Ayatollah al-Qazvini continues. He says, "It is evident that the entire chain of transmission for this report is missing. Between al-Kulayni and Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Hadi alayhi salam, there are at least 3 or 4 unknown transmitters, none of whom can be identified." He says, "A single majhulul hal, yani unverified and unknown narrator, is sufficient to render a narration weak." So, what can be said of a report that contains 4 transmitters whose very identities are unknown, let alone their credibility? Then look at his conclusion. He says, "Consequently, the narration is mursal, it is disconnected, and majhulul isnad, of unverified chain of narration and transmission, making it unfit for use as evidence in legal rulings, let alone in broader religious matters, especially i'tiqadi, faith-related doctrinal issues." So Maulana, what he has just said here, the entire irfani, all this pseudo-irfani ideology collapses once you accept what this Ayatollah Qazvini has said, because these irfanis, for all their tall claims, including Ziyarat al-Jami'ah, which has majhul narrators in it, as well as Dua al-Tawassul, for which aslan we don't have a complete chain, as well as Dua al-Faraj, which aslan was revealed in a dream. For all of these supplications, if you apply this principle, all the problems are solved, because all these fabricated narrations that they are promoting, even the one that we were discussing, Asma'ul Husna, apply this principle. How has Allama Majlisi classified that narration? Majhulun. He's saying that even a single majhulul hal, unverified and unknown narrator, is sufficient to render a narration weak, and you should consider it unfit for use as evidence in legal rulings, let alone in broader religious matters, especially i'tiqadi, faith-related doctrinal issues, let alone tall claims that Ahlul Bayt are Asma'ul Husna, or they have Wilaya Takwiniya, they have special divine powers to run the affairs of this universe. All these tall claims, they collapse and they go down the drain. And by the way, this book is published by Waliul Asr Institute, which is where Ayatollah al-Qazvini, that Ayatollah who had issued an open invitation to reformists, he had said that any reformists who want to come and debate, we will cover their costs. That same institute is the institute that has published this book. These are anti-reformist scholars.